Alright. So I'm here with Devontae Capers at his Artism Gallery exhibit at the Station 3510 in Mount Rainier, Maryland. And today we are doing an artist Q&A. So if you all have any questions, please put it in the chat for us to ask Devontae while we have him in our space. And I'll start with some questions. So tell me a little bit about who you are and your art journey and how did you get here.
So my name is Devontae Capers. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, diagnosed with autism, and the founder of the Artism Gallery. I've been doing art for over 10 to 12 years now. I've studied visual art at Prince Community College, which I earned my associate's degree in visual arts and communication. Art has really been a very important thing in my life. It kind of changed my life of telling my story through colors, through objects, through drawings, photography, and all. It kind of is an outlet for me to as giving people my own perspective of the world around me, and just bring them into my life through, through inspiration, through hope, perseverance, courage, and inspiration to just be themselves and just, be a positive role model for people, those who have severe disabilities or special needs, to overcome those challenges, to be themselves and reach their dreams and make a difference in those around them.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So what type of art do you like to work on?
So I've done multiple versions of art, from drawings, paintings, the photography, graphic design, two-dimensional art, writing, dancing, videography. So I really like to do different types of arts, to really challenge myself and get a feel of it, and try to grow my craft and try to increase my knowledge and my abilities to really just to prove that I can do this, I can do that without overthinking. And I try to learn the ways to do it, take baby steps, from start writing a sketchbook before doing it on actual paper, or learn how to mix colors before doing it on a canvas, or learning how to use a camera by looking at tutorials on YouTube on how to change the lenses and use ISOs and shutter speed. So it's all about the learning process. That's why it's always good to go to school. I made that choice to go to school to grow my artistry and also find myself, discover myself of who I want to be and want to become. So I made that choice. Those 8 years of college were the best years of my life, and I'm grateful I made that choice and decision that got me here today.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. So how would you describe the themes or the emotions that show up in most of your work?
Well, the themes is just about it's all about what I see through the world of black and white and gray. So there are areas of color, but to see my world as a view is just kind of dark, gloomy, a little bit, in the medium.
Mm-hmm. But so how would you describe this? This piece isn't dark and gloomy. I would say there's a lot of color here. I guess what emotion would you describe this piece?
So this piece is called a twist of street culture. It was inspired by the great late artist Jean-Michel Basquiat, who's one of my biggest inspirations as an artist. He created a lot of the street art in the New York era back then. And he just plays with so much facials and so much lines and colors, and really goes such in depth of all the characteristics. It got me thinking I would love to really capture some of that creativity he done in the scene. So a twist of street culture has all the characteristics, have the different facials, got the looks, the eyes, you got the crown where Basquiat used his crown pieces on some of his work. got like the heads and the mouths and all the just random people, random objects in that piece there. Just like make it feel like you're looking at like graffiti or you're looking at a mural. And that's what I kind of got inspired by, like the graffiti and the murals, like all the street art was the spray cans, like just because it's like part of that hip hop culture that got me influenced so much of doing this type of art, and like seeing his work inspired me to still like recreate some of that in my own version. So like Basquiat is definitely one of my true icons, and his work kind of influenced me to really push myself to really go outside the box and just put a twist of Capers culture to it.
So in what ways, if any, does being autistic shape how you see and interpret the world in art?
I think like for me as an artist with autism, it's not an easy task. It's a long-term process. Being one of the very, very few people with autism going for this major profession. Because I'm one artist with autism, but the world is like in the world of art is like 1,000,000 to 1. So it's like at times artists can be like competitive. At times, it could be like where people are like been doing this for years, who are well known events, who's well known, liked or known, famous for their work, and like for me, who's just like is just starting in that journey after learn from education to self at home. I'm still in that process of trying to really get my name out there, really trying to grow, like really get my story to people. Like I can do this. I can do like anything. Like I put my mind to it. I can do anything like anybody else. Like I can get the same opportunities like anybody else. I can do the most challenging artistic skills and abilities like anybody else. So, it's it's kind of a challenge. It's just like being like an outsider. Like I feel like I'm an outsider. I've been there for my life. Just trying to like find myself, and I feel like art kind of helps me find myself. As just trying to be like I'm human. I exist. I'm an artist. I share my art to make people happy, but also tell a story to spread joy, to get the word out that this is an artist who's willing to go the extra step, the extra mile to really change the scene, and people can start to see that they can tell their family and friends about this great artist who's willing to go above and beyond to change the way how we see art by just with one skill, one talent, and I feel proud of being autistic. I'm proud of being who I am. I love myself, in order for people to love you, you gotta love yourself. So, my mom been there by my side since day one through it all, and she's still been there for me, including my sisters, my family, even even have a short group of friends who love and accept me for who I am. So like not everybody's gonna be my friend, not everybody knows I'm gonna trust. So it's like, but it's good that I have like this good collective group of people that still love me, care for me, and is always there for me, support me. So that really helps me continue my journey and just continue to see new days as my journey continues.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That's awesome. I'm glad you love yourself. That is a definitely important part of any journey, is loving who you are for you to spread that to other people. So thank you for that. My next question is, I think you probably kind of just talked about it, but what tends to spark your ideas? Is it any feelings? Is it patterns? Is it stories? What sparks your ideas and your pieces?
I think the idea just comes like within me, like I try not to overthink comes to like art, because like when you overthink of an idea or a project, like you get like creative block, and you like just forget everything, and like it takes up that time, like a day or another day, like, and you want to start getting the work going, but you gotta think, where can I start? Like what piece should I work? What type of color should I use? What type of material that I need? Like, so it's all about, how to start it off. You gotta make sure you have the material, you gotta have a plan, you gotta have an idea. So, for me, it's like, I try to just try to go with the flow. Try really, take my time, come up with some ideas, something, look through some art books, give me some ideas of what I want to create. For example, the abstract art, like abstract is very easy because I can play with colors. I can mix it together and like play with them and just create like some different textures, and it's easy for me because it helps me like overcome that brain blockage of not coming up with an idea. So like playing with abstract colors is the best thing to help me stay focused, stay creative, and just like help me get my ideas going.
Awesome. Yeah, I noticed that you do have a lot of great art pieces here with color. How do you choose your colors when you are just like doing your abstract work? The mix of colors with the blues and the yellows and the oranges, does that come from just school, or is it just?
Of course from school, because you have to learn like the primary colors, your secondary colors. You gotta learn how to do like transition of colors. So it's all that comes from school and college. So just playing with the colors, you want to mix like some red, yellow, and green to like maybe some blue, orange, purple, or just play with the colors a little bit. Mix it up. Just like it's just just like. I don't want to use the same color over and over again. I want to mix it up again, mix it up with different colors, have 3 colors, 4 colors, or more. It just all depends what. It just always it brings connection. It's all about that harmony. Does it fit well? Does it fit what's the piece? Does it brings that tension? Does it feel like this is what I see. If I paint, I see the colors. I think does it work for me? Does it this is what I'm trying to go for? And I give it approval. I feel like yes, this definitely it. This is definitely something I can work with.
So coming off that, I guess, how do you decide when a piece is done?
Comes my pieces I know it's done when I finish. Because when I work on these pieces, it takes me more than a day. It may take me 2 days. And how many hours I do it, I say no more than an hour or 2, maybe 3 hours minimum. Because I want to make sure everything's good. I want to make sure everything is perfect, no errors, no distractions. I want peace and quiet. Just try to really just paint, just paint, keep painting, just focus, just keep on doing your art. Don't focus on the art. Don't focus on anything else. And you keep doing that, your piece, you'll have a finished piece in no time. So, it's all about timing, it's all about patience, but it's all about having that quiet time. I'm a person who don't like no distractions. I like to keep myself focused and, try to get stuff done and painting, is definitely a long-term thing because, I want to make sure everything stays the same, stays connected and well, so it's also just, yeah.
All right. Let's kind of talk about this piece behind me. This is also not necessarily painting. This is a photography piece.
Okay.
Explain where this came from.
So, Electric Consistent is a photography piece that I captured last year. This was in my neighborhood. It was during the 4th of July celebration. our next door neighbor had fireworks, and I was taking photos during the night, and during the time, you can see real closely in the middle, there's a person in there, and you start the fireworks. So as the fireworks started to come on, I started taking photos just like that, and so this capture came out of nowhere. I was surprised, and I was moving my camera a little bit, trying to practice that stutter speed. And that shot, that was like the one and only shot I got out of that. And I edited it with Lightroom to bring out more that extra lighting effect. And it just feels like it's like almost like walking like a dimension. You like to walk into a dimension of a light, or you go back in time, or you get transported into another world. So like it just brings that energy of feeling of strength and power. And I feel like this piece has been talked about a lot this year, and like that's considered like one of my favorite pieces of photography to date.
Yeah, this is a very strong piece. I like how you talked about the power, and I think people like it because this is a hard shot to get. Like for that to be a real person in the middle of that, it's very powerful, it's very strong. And I think maybe people might see themselves in this light. Like, am I powerful? Do I have, this courage or this radiation that comes off? So I think this piece also resonates with me as far as like, who knew that this shot could actually really exist?
Yeah, so like I'm just grateful that just being at that present at that moment, just taking that shot, it really just changed everything. How I do photography so much.
Yeah, you talked about your art. I guess tell us a little bit about your photography. Like how do you come and what's that creative, process in photography?
I mean, like photography was really fun because like you use my camera, like you have a bigger eye, a bigger view of what you see. Cause when I take a photo of it, I just like snapshots and just like try to document everything I see. And it's like I go out in the community to like the photo meets, like Street Meet DC and Portrait Meet DC, Street Meet Maryland. That's like a photography communities where I go monthly to take photos of models and just network with other creators and just really build that strength in photography. Even doing street photography too outside of that. Going to events. It's just like because there's so much going on in the city every day. Like you want to capture it. It's like writing a book. You like day by day, chapter by chapter. Instead of writing, you're taking a photo of it. So it's like it's part of that chapter. Yeah. You document it, and it shows that you were there at that moment. So when you have those photos, is you telling people that I was there. I took that photo. I was there during that moment. Cause one shot, that's all you got. Cause some of those things right there, they don't come back. Once a lifetime. So
capturing that moment. I like how you said it's a book because I remember someone said one picture says 1,000 words.
Exactly.
So just kind of how the 1,000 words came from just one moment, or the other photos that you take, and you only have one time to take it because the moment will be gone.
Yeah, exactly. Because when it comes to photography, once you take it, you take it. And just look back at the years. I just remember how far I've come, and as a photographer, I studied photography at PG because it was a criteria. I started small with a Sony camera. Then later on, back in December of 2019, I worked my way up to a Canon. And since then, Canon has been my sidekick since. Really just changing how I take photos and just bringing that imagery to life. So,
Thank you. A few more questions.
Sure, of
I mean,
course.
you talked about like photography and everything kind of going through your lens as an autistic artist. What do you wish viewers or people that look at your work understand about autistic artists?
I think for artistic artists, it's just that we have potential. We have things to like share and tell stories where it's not that easy, and I feel there's a form of communication, and just for anybody with autism or any type of disability can use art as a platform to really give or spread the word or the message of positivity, empowerment, encouragement, to just to bring people, that community together to see a new future of artists, to really uplift them, to see like this is where true art comes from. Like it comes from within. You see art from TV and museums and stuff like that. That's great, but original person just it makes a big difference. And because like autism is my superpower. I was like born with this gift, and this gift, with the affinity symbol I use for my logo, it's like it's infinite power, infinite responsibility. Think of it as I was like a superhero movie. It's like I'm giving this gift, this power, and I'm using it for good, but I'm also using it as a message to spread about acceptance and awareness, and just being that figurative hero that people see me that I want to be, and just like knowing that I'm there to just push through the limits, have that perseverance spirit, and to just like go for it. I never hold back from a challenge when it comes to art. When I see something art related, I go for it. Even if it's challenging or not, I still want to do it. Because I want to like prove to people. I want to prove to people that even as an outsider who loves art, who has a disability, I can still do the same thing like anybody else. But in my own way. I'm my own leader. As I lead, people can follow by my example, and I just hope just that it'll open more doors to me and other people that we can get those opportunities and just succeed and strive.
Yes. Yeah. All right. I guess last but not least, what part of being an artist brings you the most joy?
I feel like being an artist that brings me the most joy is just that it just know that it seeks the people's reaction. It's the feeling, it's the love, the reaction, support. And it's like, like art really like brings so much courage and strength in me. It just feels like people have really taken a liking into my art as a whole. And just seeing that I came such far away, and like just seeing that I have done so much like they never expect. I'm an artist, but I do a lot of art. With over 1,700 to 800 pieces and counting. Been doing my own business for now 2 years, going to vendors, going to shows, hosting exhibits, all that. It helps. I'm really getting myself out there. I'm really putting myself out there, and that's the mission. That's the goal for me moving forward. To really interact with artists, promote my brand, tell my story. Those are the biggest objectives there. And hopefully it will bring over a bigger audience to where like I can share my story and my art with the community, and hope that will build more communication, build more like togetherness, and just really hope to open more artists' eyes of that somebody who special needs, who has a disability or have autism, who's really an inspirational artist that needs to be known for who he is and what he do.
This is the beginning of that journey, and I wish you the best, and you will be known, and a lot of people will see more of your art, you know, every step that you take.
Yes, always, because you know Devontae Capers is always on the move.
Always on the move. Any last message or words you want to give to your viewers or people watching?
Yes, I want to say I appreciate everybody who's been part of my journey since day one. You know, thank you to my family, my friends who've been supporting me, to all the communities in the DMV who gave me opportunities to like really showcase my art. You know, thank you for, you know, believing in me and trusting me. I'm really grateful, and I'm looking forward to the beginning of the artism journey to grow, to prosper, and to inspire the future of artists out there. And I'm really proud to really be here and continuing being myself, being my own hero, and just being my own leader. So at the end, autism awareness equals autism acceptance. Thank you.